Hi, Mike McKinnon here, Three Oaks. This is an educational video for my students. If others find it valuable, go ahead. We're going to use the 100 tire machine here to change a tire. So I'll go through the procedure for remove and install. So the first thing, we've got a full tire of air. So the first thing we've got to remove is the valve stem core. Take off the valve stem cover, and we take out the core. Pressure down while you're getting it, you'll still get it in your hand. So as the air is empty, and I'll speak to the tire pressure, I teach that we'll always assume that it's got a tire pressure sensor here. So when we're breaking the bead from the wheel, we'll make sure that we're far enough away that we won't do damage to a tire pressure sensor if it's there. You'll notice that when I go into the knife here for the bead breaker. This is the knife here for the bead. This one's electrically controlled, so it's got a nice control on it. Our valve is down here, so I can't do any damage. A lot of times I'll lean the wheel into the knife instead of holding it against the machine. That way you can line it up better. And as it jams up, you're right on the bead. Push it out. Okay. That fully broke. Sometimes you might have to rotate a bit and do it again. Break it free, especially if it's been on for a while. Flip it around. Again, being cautious, assuming that every tire has a tire pressure sensor. So my valve is over here. Turn it. Give it another one. Okay. Now we're ready to go on the tabletop. Set it on. Make sure it's kind of centered in the hole before you let the knives out, with the catches. Okay, it's on there. Now we'll bring over the arm with the duck head on it. So we want to focus in on the duck head. When I say that, it kind of looks funny, but it looks exactly like a duck head with the beak, the head, and I'll even call this the duck tail. So it's pretty much a full duck. Okay, there's two adjustments on this arm. One is how far down you go. So this is an old rusty rim, but if you're dealing with an aluminum rim, you don't want to be scratching it, so you pull all the way down. This is a nice little cam lever. As you pull up, it pushes it up a bit so it doesn't touch. Second adjustment is here. So you want to just pull it in, it's not spring loaded, and just bring it in, it's touching the wheel, and then just bring the thread and pull it out. So now it should become a touchless tire remover. Now at the duck's beak, push the tire down, get under the first bead, pull it around. This is where you want your hand under here. It's not going to go around with the tire. As I turn the tire, I'm going to keep my hand here and keep pulling to get that bead up. That's one. Second bead, tip the tire. I'll talk about the drop center in a minute, but we're good. That's going to be in the drop on the other side to get the second bead up and over. Same procedure. Over. Okay. Now, I'm simply removing this and installing the same tire. Essentially, we're changing our tires. We're taking a tire off a wheel for different reasons. Could be that we have a leak. Could be that the tires just wore out. Could be that somebody's putting in a patch. Many reasons why we would be doing this. So as you take off a wheel, what you want to do is you want to check the sealing surfaces where the bead sits. This here is the drop center that I talk about. This is what allows us to be able to remove and replace a tire. Years ago they would have had to have split rims, so that whoever designed that made it a lot easier for what we do now. So putting the wheel back on, or tire back on, there's different kinds of rim lubricant you can use. This here one here is getting a little bit dry. So you lube the two beads. And if you are doing one where there's a tire leak and the tire leak is at the beads you've discovered, the other thing that you would do is clean up the rim, wire wheel, or a sanding disc. And then you would, if that is where the trouble is, you'd want to use a bead sealer, which is a kind of a black rubber paste that goes on, and that helps vulcanize the little pit holes that would be there for that's causing a leak at the rim. So this stuff will dry fairly quickly, depending what side you want facing out. Depending if the tire is directional, where it would say it on the sidewall, will determine which way you're putting it onto the rim, for right side or left side of the vehicle. Okay, so now, installation. Bead goes over the tail, under the head, and then you'll see I'll put it on as much as I can by hand to make sure it's in the drop. So over the tail, under the head, on as much as I can. Two places this hand doesn't leave, pressure there and pressure here as I turn it on. First bead. Second bead. This tire, I really don't need this roller, but I'm going to put it down just for demonstration. That'll help keep it under the head, and then we'll go over the tail as I put it on as much as I can in my hand. And you do want to be cognizant of whether the tire pressure, assuming it's a tire pressure sensor again, you want to be cognizant that you're probably putting it on in a place where it doesn't interfere too. So this one doesn't, so sometimes I'll forget that. Okay, so there, I'll take it off again and reset it. There. Right, now that my stem is here, if it did have a sensor, bead is not going to hit it at all, and when I install, it's not going to hit. Okay, so my hand stays here, in the drop, goes on. Okay, pull your arm away. I keep the arm adjustment set. If I'm doing a set of 4 tires, I never have to worry about resetting this. Okay, now we're ready to set the bead. When you set the bead, you want to make sure I don't put the valve stem core in, because we need that volume to quickly put it up. And what we do here, over here, as we're pumping it up, when we set the bead, it can't be over 40 psi. You'll see when I hit it, it will look like it goes over 40, but it's to set, and I'll show you when it sets what pressure it actually set at. Okay, so that bang you heard, it's set at 6 psi. So we're well below 40. Some tires will take 40 and they still won't set. I'll put the psi as close to the pressure I want. You can put the core in now once the bead's set, but it's a lot easier and quicker to get the air in without the core. So I don't put the core in. So near the end, get it up around 35 psi, and then I'll put my valve stem core in. There. Pushing it down, thread it in. Double check my tire pressure. So I'm at 32. That's depending on what the car might ask for, but 32 is a general rule that works fairly well for tire pressure. Okay, so I'm good. I can put my cover back on. Release the seat.